Thank you. I think everybody should be happy because I'm the last one. So in a few minutes, you'll be free. But before that, I would like to have a requisition for all of you. But believe me, it's a voluntary basis. No one is obliged to do that. And for obvious reasons, Anna Sophie is released for this requisition. I would like to ask everybody to stand up. You'll be just for 3 minutes, so it won't take too long. So our presentation is about lifespan physical intervention. We focus on adulthood. We talk a lot about obesity epidemic. I forget to, no, now it's going. About obesity epidemic, diabetes epidemic, but they are really actually consequences. Well, the first that goes out. Okay, sorry, oops. So actually they are consequences of a more important epidemic, that is the sedentary lifestyle. So what happens? We're born, we are in the baby set, we don't move too much, then we begin to walk, then it's crazy. My daughter is making me crazy sometimes, she took my breath away. But then the baby grows up, they become kids, and then they become to move less and less and less, until one day they don't move at all anymore. So our challenge was to think something that could decrease the incidence of diabetes in 2025. We don't believe that there is no magic bullet. Actually, the thing is more complex, and the idea was to choose between a screening or a whole population intervention. We don't believe too much in screening. I think it's not so simple like yes or no for a disease. The problem is more continuous. So we give up about the screening, and then we thought about populations interventions. And actually the population interventions should be a more complex view. So we thought about basically 2 arms. One arm will be diet. As a lot of people here showed already, food taxes, we think it's a great idea that should be implemented by our governments. And the other arm is physical activity. And physical activity, it should be important to be before you are born. So the mothers should begin to do physical activity. So you are in the uterus, your mom should already doing some exercise. Then you are born, you go to school, you should be stimulated to do sports in the school. When you go to the retirement house, you are there, but it's not over. You should do some exercise there too. But then we choose to make our intervention in the work time of your life. And why in work time? Because it's the biggest time of your life. You work 40, 45, 50, probably the politics we wanted that we work 60, we will see in the future. But it's the biggest time of your life. And you work theoretically 8 hours a day. It's a lot of time. And what happens? We have a lot of programs that try to make the people move more, that go to work with bike or walking. Should continue, this is great. But I live in Greifswald in the northeast of Germany in winter. My God, it's difficult. It's very easy to find a place to park your bike in winter because the people begin to go by car because the walking is sleeping. And 6 o'clock when it's snowing, and then you think, oh, I go to the fitness. It's difficult to chew. So what we can do? So the approach is to do something in the workplace. Yeah, almost 3 minutes. You can all sit down. Congratulations. You just decrease your blood levels of glucose, insulin, triglycerides, and peptide C. So the idea is to make it cost-effective, efficient, and our holy word, simple. We have a problem with culture, but we go there. So the idea, we can do a lot of interventions. The simplest one is just standing. If you want to make a little more sophisticated, you can put a pedal here and bike. You can take a little care, go a little outside from the table. It can be simple resistance activity, squashing, move some big musculatures. It's written in the text, gluteal contraction, I don't know exactly, but it's written there. You can put a treadmill behind your desk. I think all of us do teleconference, sometimes 1 hour. If you have a treadmill, you could be walking. I have a colleague that has the stepper, and she does stepper while she's doing the teleconference. So that's our idea in interventions. In the intervention, there is already a lot of results in literature, some protocols with 3 minutes, some protocols with 5 minutes, but the majority with 3 minutes. 3 minutes every half an hour. Let's consider that during lunchtime you don't do this bout of exercise. You'll be 12 times a day. So 12 times a day, 3 minutes is 36 minutes. If you see the actual recommendations of exercise for the medical associations is 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. It's 150 minutes a week. With this approach, you have 180 minutes a week, 30 minutes more. You think this along weeks, months, years, 45 years is huge. 3 minutes every half an hour. And here, just to illustrate it, there is a protocol that was made and was published in Diabetes Care this last year by Jensen et al. And the protocol was sitting here, and 2 kinds of intervention. One was light walking. It was a treadmill, 3.2 kilometers per hour. And the other intervention was doing simple resistance activities like squashing and so on. And you can see that there is a difference between the groups. There's no difference between these 2 groups, but with the sitting one, a small interruption of sedentary lifestyle reduce blood glucose, insulin, C-peptidin, and triglycerides. I put this, but there is some results with just standing 2 in the literature. So, as I said, our solution is intuitive and easy to understand because it's simple. There's nothing more simple than that. There is a cultural problem, and this is true. I'm still trying to convince my colleagues to allow me to put a treadmill in my room, but I just can talk with them the rationale behind it half an hour later when they stop to laugh. But there is rationale behind this, and it works. So, when you look at, for example, the cost of absenteeism associated with obesity just in USA is 4.3 billion. And if we talk with the employers, now we can show that you have some benefits because in theory will improve the cardiovascular health among the employers, and this will result in lower cost for medications and for health insurance. And as I said, there is no cost. There is a marginal cost if you want to buy the bike, the pedal, or the treadmill. If you're just standing, there is no cost. And there is some studies that are a little more radical, that they put the employers to stay standing the full 8 hours. It's very interesting. The first 4 weeks were terrible. The people complained. The productivity declined, but after 4 weeks, the people get used it, and the productivity was better than in the baseline. So you can even, our offer is, we save costs because then the company doesn't have to buy more chairs. Actually put in my mind now that perhaps alternative client would be Ryanair. They take out the chairs, put more clients in the planes, and even charge us saying that is good for our health. So In the ethical compound, we think there is no problem because, as I asked, it's voluntary. Nobody was obliged to do it. And we think we can change the future with this. It's cost effective, it's effective. We showed that there is improvement in biomarkers, probably leading our increasing lifespan and quality of life. Most important, it's simple. And we are the only group that allowed you to test our intervention already today. You just did it. Thank you very much.